Hey everybody, how's it? Aloha. Well, I've had a couple people say, hey, listen, why don't you check out like Allan Holdsworth or Guthrie Govan and Marco and Brian, the Aristocrats. And when it brings a huge smile to my face, but when I hear that, it's like people ask me saying like, hey Jeeves, listen, when Moses comes down with the 2 tablets, can you react to the tablets? I mean, I think you get the inference, whatever religion you're into, I think you get the inference of what I'm trying to say here. It's just, number one, they are in of themselves just amazing and groundbreaking musicians. And number two, if I was to break it down and react to it, I mean, the reality is I'd have to go over it 100 times, and still yet I don't have anywhere near the theory education to be able to have that ear to break down the chords and all that. I mean, it'd take forever, but that's not what this is about. But I found out I think is the next best thing. I found a cover by Allan Holdsworth called Fred, which I love to kind of jam and play with, even though I get all the wrong notes. It's just fun to play. And I woke up this morning and on my browser, this came up, which was Andre Nieri, a cover of Fred. And I know of Andre because of me jamming around on guitar on the YouTube and stuff like that. I see some of his videos, and he's an absolutely incredible guitar player. And his phrasing is amazing. And so I said to myself, all right, well, this is going to be a journey. Of course, Allan Holdsworth, the master of intervals and writing intervals, for those of you who don't know anything about music, is the space between notes. Sometimes intervals can be also, the other term would be voicings, how you make a chord using different intervals and stuff like that. Anyhow. Okay, and away we go. All right. All right, my first stop. This is going to be difficult for me to give a super organic response and reaction to it, because I do know the original song, and I've also seen it played live when I was younger, but more so some of the live Allan Holdsworth versions. This seems a little bit more faster in speed. I don't know what to say. There's nothing to say about the musicianship and the skills of these musicians, and I'm sure I'm in for more. We haven't even gotten to a solo section. One of the things I wanted to bring up really quick is, remember I was just mentioning voicings. The chords in this, as I recall, are kind of in an E major kind of. Well, I don't want to go there because I'll make mistakes, and I don't want to get called out and catch any smoke for that. But do you hear the beautiful tone of the guitar chords? Or not the tone, the sound, the notes that he's choosing. That's intervals, and that is voicings in guitar chords. If you could play D many different ways and stuff, but if you notice, just for a lack of better explanation, since I do this for non-musicians, if you notice when Andre is playing, he's got these very wide fingering on certain things. And that is the intervals in between the notes that give it this nice, beautiful sound to it. You know, he could play very simple triad style playing, which means the closer 3 notes into the chords. But that's what I was talking about, intervals. So, okay, I'm gonna let this glide. I gotta let this play out for a while. I'm not gonna stop. It's for another, I don't know, however long. But we have to sink in and enjoy this. So I'm just gonna keep it going. And I hope you guys are digging this. This is absolutely mental. Here we go. Jesus. All right, I do want to bring up the fact that this is a live performance, number one. Now, I'm almost sure, but I never can be, but I'm sure there was definitely some level adjustments and some enhanced post, perhaps, in the mix out. There was a beautiful delay on Andre's solo, guitar player solo. The bass, oh my gosh. Okay, well, so if you go look up the original Allan Holdsworth, Fred, and other covers, remember what I said in the Disturbed video I did right before that? You know, the unique thing about doing a cover is that, okay, everyone's going to recognize it, and when they originally heard the song, you're kind of held accountable to, well, this is the way I know it. How are you possibly going to do better? And, you know, for people who do covers, whether it's music instrumentals, whether it's not doing better, it's an interpretation. It's almost like it's celebrating the piece of music so much that's impacted the musicians that they want to cover it because it's moved them so much. So they make it their own though. Just like the guy in Disturbed did, they're doing the same thing. The tempo's a little faster. Excuse me, God. In the original, the keyboard player, had a long solo before Allan Holdsworth took off. In this case, they gave it to the bass player, who just killed it. Absolutely killed it. Even if you're not into this playing, you're still here with me, just out of sheer curiosity. But if you're a musician and you're looking at this and you're hearing this, I know that you're just chicken skin, just absolutely out of your mind for that bass solo. Like I said, the skills of these musicians are beyond question, and they could do anything they want in their solo, their internal soulful interpretation of the space they're given to cut loose. But the bass player had some of the most amazing and beautiful phrasings. Yeah, sure, he kicked ass and took no hostages, and he killed it at times. But the turnaround phrasings of some of the things he did were so tasteful. Now, Andre's solo, what do you say about him? You got to look him up on the internet and see other works that he's done. Or maybe there's more of this two-tone session stuff you can troll through. I'm sorry, it means something else nowadays when I was a kid. When I was a kid, trolling was the thing that you did to go, hey, I'm going to go pick up some girls. I'm going to go trolls. That stupid surfer thing. Sorry. Had to give you a laugh there. He is an amazing, amazing, amazing guitar player. And because like I said, I'll practice guitar, pretend I'm doing riffs, and come across, multiple, shred collaborations and stuff. And I listen to all these great guitarists, but he has a particular way with his soul of playing these phrases that it doesn't separate him from the other. As each one of the guitar players have their own way of playing and executing what they do. I'm just drawn to the way he plays because he can go ahead and just go nuts on his phrasings and stuff, but then he can just go ahead and just kind of hit the brakes a little bit and give it just some hardcore double stop blues, phrasing in between it all. It kind of brings you back into, he's putting in all this Brazilian jazzy, cool, super cool spice, and then he goes, and then comes back into it. You can tell I'm elated by this. This just is just absolutely wonderful. These are all Brazilian musicians. Hi Brazil, how's it? And the Brazilian culture is extremely rhythmic. Extremely rhythmic. Just watch Carnival and all kinds of stuff, and it's just, and their jazz and music. South American music doesn't get celebrated enough, anyhow. All right, let's finish this up. I'll go back a little bit, and I can almost guarantee that the drummer's going to get a little highlight love right now in this somewhere. Here we go. man, you know, this makes me want to turn my guitar into a coffee table. But I don't have a lot to say about it. I think by the way I just physically responded to it, maybe I shouldn't have listened to this first thing in the morning. I'm a little exhausted because all the energy pumping through my body and my guitar, drum, and bass face probably was in full, you know, like probably on 11, because this was an absolutely incredible performance and interpretation of Allan Holdsworth's Fred. Remember, this was live. The engineering is incredible, and even if it's not a post fix anywhere, which usually is, they just want to get the sound, you know, everything, all the levels correct and stuff before they. I think this is a DVD. What the human element is about this is that every once in a blue moon, in every live performance, there's a clam or two, and that's what a clam is. Maybe a note that doesn't ring out the way the musician wanted it to. And for me, I hear a clam or two, but that was a live performance, and the clam adds to the human element as if it doesn't need it already because these guys are killing it. But there was a lot of movement going on here. And with all the arrangements were really, really complex. And because it's a trio, you know, there was times where I was going, gee, I wonder if the bass player could have squared off a little bit more and not have been so busy. But then it would not have accompanied or have not been a really good accompaniment to the way the drums are being played and arranged, or the guitar. So these guys go full metal jacket on everything that they were doing, and their skills are just unbelievable. And remember, they got to keep playing. I mean, this is one of probably, I think this was a DVD, so there's much more to go in this performance. The endurance of the musicians are incredible. Do you see how they're smiling and having such a great time? And a lot of that has to do with years of practice. Very light hands on the bass, very light with the guitar. Even the drummer's killing it. Do you see him? He's wearing a beanie. He should be sweating. He should be dying. He's just like, hey, this is me doing my thing, you know? So, but anyhow, I do want to give the Golden Bass Face Award to this bass player. He made some, as an inside thing. Anyhow, thank you guys for the comments. Thank you for hanging out through here. You know, I know this isn't typically the music that I have been running through here, but you know, the next one I'm bringing in, I'll speed it back up into still keep it instrumental, is going to be a guy named David Maxim Misiki. Ugh, help me with that one, guys. Anyhow, that's going to be coming next, so I'm going to kind of stay in a progressive instrumental pocket. Anyhow, thank you so much, and for those of you who know, my channel is not monetized, and so some people do buy me a cup of coffee. That link is below, and if you want to, if you see so fit, if you see so fit, that's there. The link for the music is there, and the link for the headsets, like I always say. All right.